Seated on the dais with me, my colleague, General V.K. Singh ji, members of our family at the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and our guests today, Praveen Pardesi ji and the dynamic Chintan Rao ji. It's been an enthralling session, and our second Chintan Shivir. We must remember the raison d'etre for which we're organizing these Shivirs. There are multiple reasons. The first, we must get to know each other. We must learn to spend time with each other. Because this ministry, when I say it works as a family, we must work as one unit. What is most important in life, always, please do remember, more than your designation, more than the success that you achieve in your life, most important are the relationships that you build. And those relationships are built within your family, within your social circles, but also within this environment. In my own career, over the last 20 years in public service, I've built many relationships with officers, with people on the field that I have treasured till today. And those human relationships are what matters to us most. So this is an opportunity for us also to build relationships with each other. And as Chintan said, many of us are not familiar with each other. Many of us do not know each other. And I think these sort of events provide that environment for us to build on our relationships with each other. That's focus number one. Focus number two, and this is very much the Prime Minister's thought as well. The very fact that we in our ministry at a senior level work on two elements. One, our dashboard meetings. Generally in ministries, one has always observed that the minister interacts with one officer and the secretary at a time, depending on which area it is. So if it is drones, then it will be the secretary and Piyush ji and myself. But we've set up a system of a dashboard. And there's a reason for that. The reason is I do not want any of us, me included, working in silos. We must all know what is happening in every aspect of our ministry. Because then two things happen. A, we get enriched. We understand the efforts of our ministry across the board. And the second, generally within government, we are responsible for the mandate for the silo that we have been given. And therefore, if something is antithetical to my silo, but beneficial to another silo, or beneficial for the ministry as a whole, or beneficial for the country as a whole, my view will still be restricted to my silo. And therefore, we have to think, we have to rise above that and think not only of our silo, but of the ministry, of the government, and most importantly, for India. We here today, you and I and all of us in this room, are today working for Bharat Mata. And the whole of government approach is something that we must inculcate within ourselves. The third aspect is the most important aspect of leadership. And that aspect is the raison d'etre why we have the Capacity Building Commission here. building our softer skills. Leadership, always remember, has to be earned. It cannot be demanded. And that leadership comes from the fact that where you have force, where you can give a vision, where you can give direction, which is extremely important, where you must have commitment, where you must have optimism, you must also, equally important, or I would say even more important, look at teamwork, compassion, and empathy. Those three factors, if you are able to motivate your team with teamwork, with compassion, and with empathy, then you'll be able to translate focus, direction, vision, commitment, and optimism into your goal. And that very much is the purpose of these sort of exercises that we are bringing together. We heard a lot about the ability to be able to hear each other, the ability to discard our ego. And therefore, we must work in a flat, egalitarian structure. Even if you're the head of your team, make sure that you make each one of your teammates feel as if they are the head of the team. Because always remember that you are only as strong as the weakest link in your team. And therefore, build on each other's strengths. It's been a very, very interesting and a very exhaustive session. I'd like to thank once again Praveenji and Chetan Raoji for their comments. I'd also like to thank Rubina ji for her amazing ability and artistic ability of drawing, for which some of us have had a preview, capability of upturning Christmas trees. And these are aspects that come to the fore in these sort of forums. It's been a wonderful interaction. Thank you very much for having us.